Winning Chess by Irving Chernev and Fred Reinfeld. An audiovisual presentation, checked and updated with the chess computer engine Stockfish. Narrated and presented by Dr. Michael Kugel. Chapters 1, 2, and 3. The first 3 chapters of this book are there to set the scene. They do not focus on chess positions or tactics, but instead they focus on the mind frame necessary to be able to deduce the single correct move from the Googles of possible but incorrect moves. They outline the various weapons in the arsenal of a chess player, including the pin, the knight fork, the double attack, the discovered attack, and so on, all of which we will encounter as this book goes on. And finally, this trio of chapters concludes by reassuring us that only simple, straightforward language will be used in the presentation of this book. I will provide a few highlights from these 3 chapters, briefly, in the interest of getting sooner to the actual chess positions. Methodical thinking is of more use in chess than inspiration. Cecil Purdy, former world champion of correspondence chess. Meditate on this quote while we go through some of the highlights from the first 3 chapters of this book. The total number of possible moves in a game of chess is staggering. The number is so huge that a Google is quite trifling in comparison. Despite the Googles of possible variations, chess is a fairly easy game. How is this paradox to be resolved? Careful, systematic reflection about the game shows that all but a very minute proportion of the possible moves are meaningless. To play purposefully, therefore, we must discard the Googles of possible moves and confine ourselves to only a microscopically tiny minority of all the possible moves. To execute the basic attacking ideas, we require moves of violence, forcible moves, forcing moves. All of them fall into one of the following groups: a check and/or a capture, or a threat to check and/or capture. The virtue of these violent moves is that they cut down the opponent's choice of reply. It is this brusque elimination of choice which enables the attacking player to be exact in his calculations. It is this imposing your will on your opponent that sweeps away the Googles of possible replies to any given move, leaving a minimum of responses to be reckoned with. Once again, we come back to this quote by Cecil Purdy that methodical thinking is of more use in chess than inspiration, and we now know why. By thinking methodically about checks and captures, or threats to check or threats to capture, we will cut down on the choice that our opponent has in the moves they employ in response to our own. And thereby we will enable ourselves to be exact in our own calculations. With that said, it's now time to move on to the first chapter that deals with actual chess positions, and that chapter is the pin.